Hi, welcome to Saunders Sisterhood. I'm Carrie. I'm doing a video today that's a little bit different than the ones that I typically do. I've been doing more like vlogs and kind of talking head videos. This is a talking head video, but sort of where I'm going with this is a little bit different than some of the typical ones. I will land this plane by the time this video is over, but I have gotten sucked in and drawn into this world of sister wives. I don't know if you guys have seen this show. It's a show that's on TLC. It's been on forever. It's a show that depicts, or it's a reality TV show that follows this family who lives plural marriage. There's one husband, four wives. And when this show first started, it was really about, this is how we choose to structure our family. We like all the support, all the friendship, all the children. It's this like real big happy family, right? And when you're single and childless, not by choice, it's essentially the complete opposite of what your life is. Because you're single, you don't have multiple adults in your life, and there's a ton of kids. And I think, you know, when I was going through like my deep grief, not that I ever wanted to have a plural family. I do not. But this idea of like, they've got 4 other people and 20 kids and I've got nothing, right? So my brain would go there a little bit. And of course, reality isn't all that it seems. So now I'm like, no. I would rather be alone than managing what those people have been managing. So that family was involved in a cult. And while they had what I believe I thought I wanted a little bit, right? Like it didn't look like it exactly, but they had partnership. They had lots of children. They had like this like skewed concept of what culture tells you. They don't tell you to have 5, you know, adults in a family or 4 spouses, but it's almost like a plural family is like less threatening than a single woman with no kids. I won't go down that rabbit hole, but I think there is definitely a rabbit hole to go down there. You know, looking at this now is this family's disintegration, which is actually very, very sad. I just watched the 3rd episode of the 19th season today. It was actually very, very sad. I was like, I don't know that I really want to watch this anymore because these people are hurting like a lot. It got me thinking though, traditional marriage doesn't really seem to be a solution for a lot of people, even people who are in a traditional marriage. A lot of people are unhappy. The divorce rate is sky high. An alternative setup, right? Like plural marriage, that doesn't look to be an alternative. That actually looks like it sucks a lot. And then singleness also doesn't feel like the answer for a lot of people. But it did get me thinking. I was like, okay, well, maybe this gives a little bit of validity to some of this research that's coming out that says people who are single eventually do end up a little bit more happy, right, than people who are in more traditional or outside the traditional relationships. Because just because you're in a marriage or you're in like the structure that they were in, where they were literally around 30 people, those women were lonely. They were very lonely. They really spouted like this partnership and community, but they were lonely. They were on their own. It just really validated like the most lonely place is around other people. They also talk, sister wives, they talk a lot about jealousy and how kind of the hardest part about this lifestyle is that feeling of jealousy. Who wouldn't feel it? It's a really natural feeling and absolutely one that would come up. And as I was contemplating this a little bit more, I'm like, you know, I'm not sure jealousy is like the primary feeling that comes up. I think it's the mask for the feeling of insecurity. You know, insecurity around, is your partner going to be here today? Insecurity around, is my partner getting bored with me, so they want to bring in another wife? I think more traditional marriages feel that way too. Insecurity around finances, insecurity around, for them, like their spirituality or their religiousness. Am I following the principle or the doctrine? Like the biggest thing around this was insecurity. And again, I think that's the thing that hits all three of these groups. If you are in a more traditional marriage, things can, like when it goes bad, it's that feeling of insecurity that feels difficult. Plural marriage, I just explained it. I think when you're single, the feeling of insecurity also comes up. Like, how am I going to take care of myself? What if I'm alone? Like these basic things that we all are seeking no matter what. And it's not so basic, but this thing that we're all seeking no matter what our lifestyle looks like. So I guess in the end, it's like plural marriage sucks. Traditional marriage isn't all that great all the time. And singleness can be really hard too. So what is the solution? And who knew that watching some Sister Wives would sort of get me to contemplate my own existence, but it did. And what is the solution? And I have come to the conclusion that the solution isn't in a title. A solution isn't in a demographic. It's not when I'm married or when I have lots of kids or fill in the blank, right? It's not any of these external things. The solution, fortunately and unfortunately, is within us. Not an outside problem. It's not something where I'll be happier once I'm a parent or I'll be happier once I'm married. And I don't mean to minimize sort of the devastation that comes with not being able to fulfill that role. Because again, I am well aware that we're all given a ton of messages that tell us these are the roles we should be fulfilling. And if we're not fulfilling these roles, there's something wrong with us. So I don't say it to minimize that feeling. And I say it more to really highlight there are things that we can do in order to help how we feel. For me, for example, I'm not going to be able to change my parenting status. Like that's not going to happen. I can't change that. And so if I tell myself, well, that's the only thing that'll be helpful, well, I'm screwed for the rest of my life then. And I can't accept that. I cannot live my life thinking that this is just some second-rate B-roll life. So here is my challenge based on my Sister Wives epiphany to you. What is it that you do want without using a demographic? Instead of saying, I want to be married, or I want to have kids, or fill in the blank, right? Or I want to have this job title. I want you to think about what is it that you want? Do you want connection? Do you want stability? Do you want to be able to feel excitement and joy? Do you want to be able to look forward to things? Those are just a couple that I came up with. But spend a few moments to really intentionally think, what is it that I want? But do not allow yourself to be able to answer that question by a status or a title or a demographic. Then I want you to journal about those or write about those things. I want you to go deeper. I want you to journal for at least 3 minutes. That doesn't sound like a long time, but it is a long time. Don't think about it, just do. If your brain starts to take you off topic, just notice it and come back. This is an exercise that you may have to do once a week for a couple of months. Like you're probably not gonna get full clarity the first time you do this. The idea of this isn't to have a solution right away, but it's just to start to get your mind to consider and think about it. I did a journaling video that had some of these questions in it, but I really feel like the main piece of my challenge to you here is, what is it that you want without using one of those titles or demographic statuses? We don't think about that a lot. We're generally striving for a particular goal or thing that we can easily, not so easily, apparently, put our hands on, right? Like marriage or kids, things like that. But I want you to really think about, if I can't use those words, what else would it be? And journal about it. Let me know how it goes. If you're watching Sister Wives, I don't know. it's like the drama is like getting like really, really hard drama. And so I don't know. I don't know if I'm like, I feel guilty watching it now, but it also led me to think about this. So whatever. If you have some guilty TV shows that you like to watch, let me know what they are. Maybe I can find something different other than Sister Wives. I do watch a lot of YouTube because I really like YouTube. So let me know. Good luck with your challenge and best of luck.